Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to Vinyasa. If we haven't met, I'm Jennifer Elliott. Today is going to be a bit of heart opening and at the same time forward folding. So we're going to spend a lot of time with balance and sort of moving in sort of that self-reflection of folding forward and drawing in within ourselves, but we'll spend a lot of time opening the heart. A few days ago, I spent our yin practice on heart opening and sort of moving through grief. And so I'm going to continue that theme for today. So I've got a couple of blocks and I have a strap looped to about shoulder width. So if you have those things, grab them. If we have time, we'll use the wall. So let's go ahead and get started. So we'll get started in a 2-block heart opener if you have it. So I'm just setting one block up on medium, the other one on high. If you don't have a couple of blocks, you can just lie on your back with your arms in cactus, and we'll kind of do this in a couple different ways today. So go ahead and get yourself started. So when you get yourself set up on your blocks, you're sort of just at the bottom tips of the shoulder blades. You can rest your head on your block, your second block, the arms out to the sides, palms open. And even here, just turning the palms up is a gesture of being open to receive. The knees can bend, especially if you have any sensitivity in the lower back. The eyes close. Just take a few moments bringing your attention into this space. As you're dropping your attention down into your body, notice how your breathing is happening on its own. Is it through the nose or the mouth? Is it limited or smooth? Is the breath moving in all directions? Let's invite in the breath with a nice full inhale through the nose. Open the mouth and let it out. And again, in through the nose. Open the mouth and let it out. In through the nose. Hold the breath. Sip a bit more breath in through the nose. Sip a bit more breath in. Open the mouth and let it out. Then take a full inhale through the nose. And a full exhale out the nose. Let your breath return to normal. Just reach the arms overhead. Grab onto your elbows, frame your face. Take a few moments. So when you frame your face, some of you, your forearms can clear your head. Others of you, your forearms are resting on your forehead. It just really depends on how your shoulders are feeling and frankly, how long your arms are. So grab your elbows wherever you are. Let the inner shoulder blades relax. And then the arms will just land where they do. And we'll switch. So take the other arm and place that one on top. Let the shoulder blades soften down the back. And then release your arms. Bend your knees if they weren't already. Roll to your side, doesn't matter which. And we're going to lie on our belly. So I did this in my last yin practice. This will be new for us Vinyasa people. But I'm lying on my belly and I'm going to do the same sort of cactus arms, but reverse it. So I'm going to take my props underneath my forearms. I'm going to do the second height because this works really nicely for me. You could rest your forehead, but I'm going to let mine just sort of hang. And I'm finding this cactus arms, my forearms supported with the blocks, and then maybe the head either rests on the floor or you can let it hang. But you can feel it sort of giving you a little bit of a heart opener, but from the back side. We won't be here long. This isn't yin, just sort of imprinting, opening up the heart, moving across the front body. So take a few breaths here. Again, if you don't have blocks, then just take your arms into this cactus arms. You can lie on your belly, or you can even be in Sphinx on the forearms. We're here just a few more breaths. All right. Now from here, just slide your hands out in front of you. Slide the right knee up like a half frog. I'm going to take my right arm in front of me, my left arm underneath, and I'm just going to roll onto my back so that I end up in a nice twist. And I purposely did it from there because when I do this, my right shoulder is a little bit more elevated, and I purposely want a little bit more of an open heart. So if that didn't make sense for you how to get into the twist, just find a twist. But for me, I've got that arm a little elevated. My block was actually in a great place to rest my arm. We're here just a couple of breaths. And then I'm really using my breath to create space across the heart. So you can almost notice how those bigger breaths are almost stretching the tissues across the chest. Then we can go ahead and release the arm, release the leg, roll back onto your belly. So we're moving into it in the same way. You're going to slide the left leg up like a half frog, the left arm forward, right arm underneath, and just roll onto your back. Maybe that left arm is a bit more elevated. I'm just going to shimmy a bit more onto my mat. So I'm letting the knee go all the way down so that the arm, the shoulder is a little bit more elevated. So I'm purposely letting this arm be a little bit more in flight than usual. Just a couple of breaths here in this or any other version of a twist. Just breathing into the heart. And then this time, I'm just going to continue to roll onto my back, bending the knees, and I'm going to grab that strap that I already had handy. You can put the loop over the foot or not. That's up to you. Sort of one last thing on our back here before we get up and moving. So I just have the strap over my right foot. You can have it with the loop or not. That's really up to you. Left leg is nice and straight. And just getting into the hamstrings. A lot of our forward folds today will want to access the hamstrings. So just sort of introducing that to the body, seeing how we feel. And then a lot of times when we want to open the heart, we doubly want to do twists. The twists are what help prepare us for our back bends. We'll do one final twist here, just putting the straps into the left hand, crossing the right leg over, just enjoying this nice twist. And I like to press the hip away from me, shimmy that left shoulder out from underneath, and just enjoy a nice, good twist here. Bring the right leg back up. Put your left foot in the strap or however you've decided to move into this pose. Get into the hamstrings on side 2. And if you're like me, this is always the side that needs a little TLC. It's definitely not my more open hamstrings. When you're ready, we'll cross it over, finishing on our back with a twist. Making sure we have enough space. Maybe pressing that left hip away, shimmying the right shoulder underneath. And just a couple breaths here remain. All right, bring your leg up. Pull both knees into your chest. You can move that strap away for a moment. Rock up to seated or however you like to come to seated. And then I'm going to find the strap one last time. I'm going to sit in Virasana. It's up to you. So sort of imprinting all these little moves into our practice. So I'm going to sit in Virasana. I'm just turning away from you so you can see where we're going. If you choose to sit somewhere else, that's fine. But we're going to move into Gomukhasana arms. And I'm going to use the strap now just because we're going to do this a lot today and this sort of imprints it as well. So I'm turning the right palm behind. I've got the strap in my hand. I'm going to set the hand on the shoulder blade and actively guide that elbow in. I'm going to lift the pubic bone a little bit, drop through the seat. Left arm comes out, thumb down. Slide the arm behind the back and grab the other end of the strap. Now your hands might meet. For me, this left shoulder is my tighter shoulder, so it takes a little longer. I guess I'm not so bad. I've been doing it today, so I guess that was helpful. So lengthening up, right? Finding your breath, lifting through the navel, couple of breaths here. So we'll do this set of arms several times today. Give yourself a couple of breaths here, wherever you are. All right, and release, roll the shoulders back and forward, and then we'll do side 2. So if you want to use your strap, left hand, turn the palm behind, hand on shoulder, guide the elbow back. The elbow tries to sneak away, so see how close you can draw it into the face. That's better for the shoulder. And then right arm out, thumb down, slide behind the back, and you can grab the hand or the strap, whatever makes sense right now. lift the navel. Keep hugging that top elbow in. Last breath. And release. Okay. Roll the shoulders back and forward. We'll use that strap again later. We can put the blocks near the top edge of the mat. Let's find our way to tabletop. So hands and knees. Really rooting down through the palms, finding your cat-cow. So an inhale pulls the chest forward. The exhale rounds the spine. And just start to move with your breath. So inhale, heart forward, pull the belly in. Exhale, round, press into the palms and into the back ribs. One more inhale. And exhale as you round, shift all the way back to child's pose. Gaze up, walk the hands off the right side of the mat so you're at a good angle. Take the right arm behind the back, palm faces the ceiling, or tuck into the hip crease. But as you forward fold, you sort of let the forehead draw down to the earth. Peel the right shoulder head up away from the ground. Now the elbow will probably lift, but try not to lift the head. Just lift up through the shoulder. Bring the right arm forward, walk off the left side. We'll finish our imprinting here. Left arm behind the back. Maybe find the hip crease, but lift that left shoulder head. Notice, now I did that just to sort of talk to you, but I ended up turning my head. So let's see if we can keep the forehead down and just lift the shoulder head. Release the arms. Extend them forward. Find your way to downward facing dog. Take a few moments here. Pedal the feet out. Just sort of let go of your day in any way you need. And then settle into your pose. Just notice, how does this first downward facing dog feel? You can shift forward. Find plank, and they should be about the same distance. So my plank is a little short. I'm going to walk my hands forward. Pull the chest through and try to lift up through the side waist. We can tip forward on the toes or knees, lower slowly, elbows hug the body. Keep the shoulder heads lifted even here. Then inhale, lift the heart and shoulder heads, low cobra. I like to work dynamically, and lower down. Again, inhale, lift the heart and shoulder heads, pull the navel in, push into your toes, and release. Last one up to you. Inhale, lift the heart, belly in, maybe press into the feet and hands if you're ready for up dog. Shoulder heads back, look straight ahead. And when you're ready, lift up and back, downward facing dog. So we'll raise the right leg up behind us halfway. Drive back through the heel and really feel strong in the legs. Take an inhale. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose, shift forward, pull the knee up high to the chest. Inhale, bring the leg back. Exhale, knee crosses to the left arm, but keep shoulders over wrists. You're still in plank. Inhale the leg back. Exhale, knee to nose. Step the foot next to your right thumb tip. Hands on the floor, or you can always use your blocks. Frame the foot either way. Take an inhale and pull your chest forward in your lunge. And exhale, lift your hips and your front toes into a wide pyramid. So keep your back heel lifted versus dropping it down, keeping the legs neutral. Inhale, forward lunge. Exhale, back wide pyramid. And just do a couple more on your own. Inhale and exhale. One more. Shift into your lunge. Hands on the ground. Take a moment to step to plank, top of your push-up. Tip forward on toes, or you can always be on your knees. Lower halfway chaturanga, shoulder heads lifted. We're gonna be here 3 breaths. 1, belly lifted. 2, shoulder heads lifted. 3, all the way down. Inhale, lift the heart, cobra or up dog, yogi's choice, but push into whatever's on the ground. Downward facing dog and shift back. Raise your left leg up halfway, look back, see the toes are facing straight down, and imagine your foot could press into that wall behind you. Take an inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, lift the knee high to the chest. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to the right arm. Keep the shoulders over wrists. And back. Exhale, knee to nose. Step your foot next to the left thumb tip. Hands on floor or blocks. Frame your foot either way. Lift your heart off your thigh. Look ahead. Inhale. Exhale, up and back, wide pyramid. Keep the front toes up, back heel lifted. With your breath, inhale and exhale. So just finding some dynamic movements. Keeping the legs neutral even though they're asymmetrical. And we'll do one more round. Return to your lunge. Hands on the floor, step to plank. Tip forward, lower chaturanga, hold it. Now can you push your toes back, scrub over them, flip them, open the heart into up dog, or take whatever back bend makes sense for you today. Downward facing dog, and breathe. So some of you may be very hyper flexible and your chest might dip to the ground. So if that's you, you're going to pull your heart up towards your spine and sort of pull yourself in a little bit. If you feel a bit more rounded, bend your knees, turn your seat up, and really try to get length in the spine. Come high to your toes. Bend your knees, look forward, step or hop, top of the mat. Take an inhale up halfway, chest is forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, reach the arms to the sky, palms press, and exhale, hands to heart. Okay, we made it. Top of the mat, arms by your sides, Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salute A. Take an inhale, arms rise, palms press at the top. Exhale, forward fold, soften the knees on the way down. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, the first one, step to plank, imprint, good habits. Exhale, lower, halfway chaturanga. Stay halfway. Then lift right into your up dog. Downward facing dog, 5 breaths. So your hands are shoulder width apart, feet are hip width apart. Push into your hands to lift up out of your arms and hips. Press down through your heels to lift up through your toes and kneecaps. Let the breath fill your ribs in all directions. Inhale, high to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, step or hop, top of the mat. Inhale up halfway, look at the ground. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, arms to the sky, palms press. Exhale, hands to heart. Round 2, inhale, arms rise, Utthita Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, either jump right to chaturanga or step to plank and lower. Inhale is your back bend of choice. Exhale, down dog. 5 breaths here. Inhale, high to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, step or hop, top of the mat. Inhale up halfway, exhale, fold. Root to rise, arms to the sky, palms press. Exhale, hands to heart. Okay, 3 rounds on your own. If you don't know it, just make it up. We meet in your 3rd downward facing dog. When breath stops, movement stops. It's really a moving meditation. We build heat, strength. And it's not about moving really fast. If you're moving very fast, I know you're hardly breathing. We're in down dog from 3 to 5 breaths. Step or hop. If you're not able to scrub the feet back, flip one foot, then the other, then move into your back bend. And just remember for round 2 to switch to the other side. We've got one more round. We'll meet in our next downward facing dog. All right, last round. The last round, I flip my right foot first. I'm going to flip left, then right, then move into my back. Okay, downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths here. Let's just walk our hands back towards our heels, back of the mat. And we want to stretch the wrists. So at the very least, turn your hands over next to your feet. I'm going to stand on my hands, Pada Hastasana. Pada foot, Hasta hand, Asana pose. I'm going to lean a little forward, scrunch up the toes, and really get into the wrists. I'm going to let the head hang. I'm going to lift the shoulders, but more around the neck, so the inner blades of the shoulders. Try to lift up through the kneecaps, pull the sternum down. All right, release the hands. Feet are still hip width, downward facing dog. Just walk forward. Keep the heels rooted. I find from forward fold, it's a lot easier to keep those heels down. Inhale, the right leg lifts. Exhale, step it to the center of the hands. Drop the back heel down and come on up, warrior 2. Okay, we've arrived. So find yourself in your warrior 2. Front heel intersects back arch. Arms are out to the sides. Take an inhale, reverse. Left arm behind the back, right arm high. Sink a little deeper into your lunge for a moment, but keep these arms. Straighten the right leg. Parallel the right toes in. And then find those Gomukhasana arms that I told you we've used quite a bit. Now your strap is in handy, so if your hands don't meet, no big deal. Hold a piece of your shirt. And then once you've got it, turn your right toes back. Kick your back heel out just a little bit. Shift your hips back and start to lean as if you're moving towards triangle pose. But we're going to lead with the elbow tip. So keep reaching. And then can you turn your torso sideways? Keep the legs strong, but start to open up the top left shoulder, move the bottom right ribs out from underneath, pull the navel in. Now take care of you. This may mean that you've got to set up your blocks and do this more traditionally, hands on props. That's fine. Couple more breaths. All right, I'm going to take the right arm, reach it forward. Left arm, reach it back. I'm going to work in those opposite directions. Then I'm going to take the top arm over, adding a little bit on here. Belly in, rotate the torso. How are we doing? Are we still breathing? Whew. All right, one more breath, we got it. Inhale, come on up. Warrior 2. Realize I'm just checking if I'm still breathing. Go ahead and straighten the legs. Turn the toes in. And then turn to warrior 2 on your left foot, facing the same direction on your mat. So sink into your lunge. Take your arms out to a T. Find warrior 2 on the left side, facing the same side of the room. Then inhale, reverse, right arm behind the back, left arm high. Take a moment here just to get that length. Then straighten up the leg. Turn the toes in. Go ahead and find your Gomukhasana arms, whatever help you need there. And just by turning the toes in, I slightly shorten my stance, which is going to help me for my triangle. I like a slightly shorter triangle stance. I'm going to turn my left toes back, kick my right heel out. I'm going to hinge the hips back, and the length is coming from the elbow. So the elbow tip is encouraging the body to lengthen. Now we want to roll the top shoulder open, pull the bottom ribs long. Are we still breathing? Now if the shoulders are not for you, any other version of triangle is fine. I'm going to take the bottom arm and reach it. Top arm, reach it back. Breathing, lengthening. And maybe that top arm is coming over. Reaching. Couple more breaths, adding the core, pulling the front ribs in. One more breath. Whew. And come on up. Warrior two. Turn the toes in. And breathe. Okay, so now our toes are turning in. We're gonna go back to those Gomukhasana arms with the right arm on top. We're gonna be here a little while, so if you prefer that strap, go ahead and grab it. So taking the right elbow on top, firming the outer ankles in, lift and lengthen, and then exhale, tip forward halfway. Let the elbow tip lead you. You might stay at this halfway point or continue to fold in, working the elbow tip long, leading your heart forward. Let the head hang. Keep hugging those outer hips to the center line. Relax the toes as you hug the outer ankles in. Anytime we draw a head below the heart, it's a chance for self-reflection. So bring your attention in. Firm thighs, lead with the heart. Slowly come on up. Okay, now we gotta do side two. So take those out, roll the shoulders around. Left arm on top, right arm underneath. Find your pose. All right, grow tall, hug those outer ankles in, and then tip forward. So you're hinging from below the pelvis. You're leading with that elbow tip. Firm your thighs, continue to lower if that makes sense for you. Let the elbow tip work long. How long can you get in the spine? Continue with your breath. Lead with your heart. Come on up. Okay, hands on hips. Lift your chest, inhale, exhale, forward fold. One last time here. So pull your chest through, lengthen, exhale, fold. Now some of you I know really like tripod headstand. I don't do that as much anymore for my neck. So you can stay where you are. You can always work on little handstands. Which may or may not work. So take another breath or two. All right. Good, really nice. So if your feet are in the air, bring them down. Then inhale, come on up halfway, turn to the right, find yourself in a lunge. All right, drop the back knee down, send the arms high, hands to your heart and twist to the right, elbow over the knee. Pull your chest through. You can stay with this back knee down, which might feel really nice on the front thigh, or you can always lift it into more of a high lunge. I'm gonna stay down for myself personally. Slowly unwind, hands down, step to plank, yogi's choice. You can take a vinyasa, a set of push-ups, or just go right to down dog. Take a few breaths here. Inhale, the left leg lifts. Exhale, step it to the center of the hands. Drop the back heel down, come on up. Warrior two. Inhale, reverse again. Exhale, either elbow to the thigh or drop to the inside of the leg. You can stay as you are and just sort of roll the top shoulder, head back. Or you can do the same work we've been doing and wrap around the hip and bind. You can always use your strap as well. But draw the left buttocks back. Pull the belly button in. Shoulders draw back, but have a little bit of a chin lock so you're not opening through the throat. You want to explore straightening the legs so you're sort of binding your triangle, go for it. Sink back in, open up, warrior two. Straighten the legs, turn, find your right foot facing the back of the mat so you're still facing the same direction. We just found warrior two on the right. Arms are out, inhale, reverse. Exhale, take your side angle. You can stay high like I am here, just elbow on the thigh, or you can drop and lower, getting deeper into your hips, or you can add any version of the bind you'd like. Now, in order to get the bind, oftentimes we get off center, so pull the right buttock under, roll the shoulders back, and instead of letting the head open, draw the chin slightly to the chest. Shoulder heads are rolling open. maybe straighten that front leg, the right leg if you did on the first side. Sink back into your lunge and rise, warrior two. Okay, turn your toes in. Back to Prasarita Padottanasana. Grab your blocks. You know I love and hate this all at the same time. So take your legs back into Prasarita. Grab your blocks. Right now your hands are like a claw. We're going to hold with open palms if we can. If you don't have props, you can interlace your hands. So I'm going to take the short sides of the blocks together behind me. Right now my fingers are like a claw just so I can hold on. But I'm going to try to open palm, all fingers straight. Press my palms into the blocks, roll the shoulder heads back. How we doing? If you have heavy blocks, this is way harder. It's already hard enough with these little blocks. Roll the shoulder heads back, lift your chest. See if you can do this without dropping the blocks, which may or may not happen. And then if you're feeling okay here, tip forward. Just as soon as I start to tip forward, my triceps start to scream. So I don't know about you, but this is so hard. All right, how we doing? Are you breathing? Are you lifting? 2 more breaths. Lead with your heart. Come on up. All right. Do you know when the arms are straight, the triceps are supposed to work? But I'll tell you what, I never feel the triceps unless I'm in that pose. So last one, legs are still wide. Make fists, press your fists together. We do this instead of grabbing opposite elbows behind because it usually pulls one arm then the other. So make fists or reverse prayer. This is what we've been working towards. So if you're ready, find your reverse prayer wherever you are. Shoulder heads back. Lift your chest, inhale. Exhale when you're ready, forward fold. Keep the shoulder heads lifting whatever you're doing. And breathe. Now in this pose, it's really easy to overdo the hamstrings. So we're going to really focus on the front thighs, lifting up through the kneecaps, hugging the inner thighs into one another. You can release your hands from here. Look up halfway. You'll turn left, find your way into your lunge, and drop the back knee down. Okay, arms rise. Hands to your heart when you're ready. Twist left. So do what you did on side one. I was more than happy to stay here. Some of you lifted that back leg up. It's personal preference. Unwind. Down dog, however you arrive there. Yogi's choice. Couple breaths here. And I'm going to set my blocks. I'm just coming to my knees so I can move my blocks back up to the front of my mat. So from down dog, inhale, the right leg lifts. Exhale, step it next to the right thumb tip. Pivot the back heel high as you rise, finding warrior one, Virabhadrasana. So while you're in your warrior one, we're going to do the same thing with the arms. The left hand is going to find the shoulder blade. Right arm is going to guide it back. Right arm is underneath. Hold your hand or a piece of your shirt. And then straighten your right leg, shorten your stance, getting ready for Parsvottanasana. So the hips square, lift up through the elbow tip, push into the top big toe, and then hinge from the hips. As you tip forward, how much can you let that left elbow lead you forward as the right hip pulls back and the inner thighs engage? So you can stay sort of at this halfway point or continue to fold. But I'm eventually going to take this left arm, reach it forward like I want to give a handshake, so the thumb is up. And then I'm going to take my hand either on the inside or outside of this front leg. I'm going to pull the right hip back as the heart moves forward, and then I'm going to open through the heart, maybe take that top arm high, revolve, triangle. Parivrtta Trikonasana. And bring the hand down. Hands to your hips. Lead with your heart. Come on up. Okay. Take your arms. We're not done yet. Take your arms behind you. One more on this leg. I promise. Then we're done. So find that reverse prayer. Or by now you already know whether you want to do it or not. So do something else if that's not for your shoulders. Roll your shoulders back. Lift your chest. Inhale. Exhale. Forward fold. Full Parsvottanasana. Push into the feet. How much can you bring your heart forward? Try to pull your chest to that front foot. I'm going to add something new. Bend your front knee. Come up onto the back toes. Stay low. Lead with your heart. Stay low. Keep the front knee bent. And slowly pick up the back leg. Keep the front knee bent so you can lift up the back leg first. Lift the shoulder heads. Press through the heel. Straighten that right leg. How are we doing? Breathe. 2 more breaths. We can do it. 1. 2. Stand right up. Tadasana. How'd we do? That was hard. All right. Shake it out. Okay. Good news. We only have another side. So bring those feet together, top of the mat. Inhale. Sit back into chair. Exhale. Forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, step or jump back, Vinyasa, or just go right to down dog. Last time, inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it next to the left thumb tip. Back foot boosts up to rise, warrior 1, Virabhadrasana, sink in. Right arm, drop it to the back. This is the last time with this, I promise. Left arm underneath, Gomukhasana arms or yogi's choice. Look at that though, you know, earlier today my hands did not meet on this left side. So sort of the more that I've been doing this, the more that shoulder has been opening. You might have something similar. Straighten the legs, shorten the stance, square the hips, lift up through the elbow tip. Hinge from below the pelvis. Keep the weight even in the feet, so as much weight in the back heel as the front. Reach with the elbow tip. How long can you get? Right arm forward like a handshake. Reach it forward. And then move to the inside or outside of that front foot. Left hip guides back, heart forward. And if and when you're ready, revolve. All right. Very nice. Hug those inner thighs. Release. Hands to hips. Lead with the heart. Come on up. All right, bittersweet. This is it for this last standing pose. Find your reverse prayer. Whew, I will be glad to be done with this. How about you? Open the shoulders, lift the chest, inhale. Unlock the front knee, push more weight into the big toe, and then tip forward again. Shoulder heads lift. All right, I'm going to bend the front knee, come up onto the back toes. I'm looking forward, and I want to keep the front knee bent as long as I can so I can pick up the back leg and focus on that. Press through the back heel, lift the shoulder heads, work on straightening the front leg. This is our final standing pose. Give it all you got. We got it. 2 breaths. 1, 1.5, and 2. Tadasana. Yay, we did it. A little pat on the back. Okay. So find your way, just have a seat. I'll demo our next pose if I can even do it at this point. I'm pretty tired. Okay, so the good news is you can always do legs up the wall, which sounds really good at the moment. But I'm going to do a little forearm balance because we've done some of the work for that. So a lot of the work where we've done that elbow tip up is going to help us. So many of you have a strap at the loop. I'm sliding this above my elbows, and my elbows look about shoulder width. The idea is my elbows are hugging towards one another so the strap gets a little slack. You'll notice when you get up there, your elbows want to press wide. So at the very least, try to draw them in. Okay, so we're going to face the wall. If you don't want to do this legs up the wall, enjoy that. That actually sounds wonderful to me. So I'm in Sphinx facing the wall. I'm going to hug those arms in so my strap gets a little slack. And I'm just going to come up into plank on the forearms. Get my core working and make sure my arms are where I want them. Feet walk in, dolphin on the forearms, just looks like down dog. I'm gonna raise one leg up, look forward towards my thumbs, and do a little hop to the wall. Great. If you meet the wall, try to pull your front ribs in, look up, lift out of the shoulders. You might even try to take one leg away from the wall. Maybe the other. Maybe both. All right. Take a few rounds on your own. Or enjoy legs at the wall. And remember, we're not on our head, we're on our forearms, so the head shouldn't be on the ground. If your legs are up the wall, enjoy. We'll be here another minute or so. Okay, so everyone's somewhere a little different. So if you're really enjoying your inversions, stay with it. If your legs are up the wall, enjoy. I'm gonna throw a block under my seat to sort of mimic legs at the wall, and this will kind of take us into our next pose. So we'll meet with legs in the air within about the next minute or so. And we've been doing a lot of work with either head below the heart, or balance poses. And so very roughly, even though we've been in heart center, I've been working with third eye chakra. What this means is our head below the heart is self-reflective. It helps us to tune in. It's very calming to the mind and nervous system. And our balance poses, they activate the left and the right hemisphere of the brain to work together. So they're very strengthening for the mind. So it's that perfect sort of yogic balance. Strength and ease, stira and sukha. So find your way to legs in the air. Now I have a prop underneath me, so if you're at a wall, you may end up changing this a little bit just so you can get deeper into the hip flexors. So I'm gonna bend my knees, hold onto my right knee, put the left foot on the ground like a bridge, and then you might straighten the left leg out just to give those hip flexors a nice stretch. And take a few breaths into the abdomen. If you have any lower back sensitivities, you can always lower the height of this block or remove it. And switch sides, so draw the left knee in, set your right foot down, bent or straight. A few breaths here. And I'm sort of floating that other leg just because that gives me a little bit deeper of a stretch. And then bend both of your knees, feet on the floor. So it might feel really nice for you just to stay in sort of this supported bridge, it's more of like a yin version. This is fine, it's kind of doing everything we want it to anyway. If you prefer to move into a bridge pose, draw your knees in, make sure your legs are nice and parallel. Reach for the edges of the mat as you walk your arm bones underneath you, and then lift your hips into bridge. Now you can stay holding the mat, you can interlace the hands underneath you. Yogi's choice. Now you can lower either onto the block or onto the ground, but whatever you do, resist the urge to pull the knees in. So we'll do 2 more back bends, yogi's choice. You can do the active or supported. I'm going to attempt, I didn't do in my earlier practice, so we'll see where it goes. I'm going to do Urdhva Dhanurasana. You can even do Dhanurasana on your belly. But we have stretched the wrist for Urdhva Dhanurasana. We have done the twist, so it might be appropriate. So I'm going to take my fingertips, face my shoulders, draw my elbows in. So this is kind of similar to what we were doing, those elbows in the whole time. Curl the hips up into bridge, press into the palms, just enough to get top of the head to the floor. Not a lot of weight here. Elbows in, shoulder heads are drawing back. And then if I feel good, I'm going to press up. If not, chin to chest, lower. I'm wrapping the triceps forward, rooting through the feet. Even here, I'm trying to pull the ribs in a little. Lower down, chin to chest. Again, resist the urge to pull the knees in. You can windshield wiper if you want. If you have one more in you, take another back bend. I think I'm just going to do bridge again. And lower down. Windshield wiper the legs side to side. And now pull the knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. So we just wait. We want to sort of do the back bends all together before we pull the knees in. If we do the knees first, it's sort of like a credit card, right? Back bend, forward bend, back bend, forward bend. Makes it a little unstable. All right, find your way up to seated, whatever that looks like for you. Soles of the feet come together into butterfly. And just slide the feet in close. Now what you can do here is you're going to hold the feet like you want to open a book. And as you grab the feet and you start to open, you can see the legs are starting to drop a little closer to the ground. If your knees are all the way down, you're going to hug your feet together to give yourself a little bit of a lift. So choose one or the other. Sit tall, inhale, and then exhale, forward fold. Maybe elbows to the inner knees if there's no sensitivity in the knees. But again, there's this chance for forward folding, sort of self-reflection. And sometimes when we fold in, maybe the belly's in the way or the chest feels compressed, we feel a little vulnerable or unable to breathe. So remember, there's a lot of space in the back ribs for the lungs to breathe. So as you fold in, really expand the back ribs. Lead with the heart and come up. Then we'll slide the right leg on top of the left. I'm going to grab my blocks once more for Gomukhasana. If this is not your hip opener, take anything you'd like pigeon or thread the needle. So I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do the Gomukhasana arms, which we've sort of done a million times today. You can just simply sit or fold, but what I'm going to do is eagle arms. This to me is really nice. And then you can sit or fold and rest those elbows. So this is kind of a nice stretch. Since we've done so much extension, this is nice on the shoulders. It might be anyway. Sink in here. If the shoulders are bothering, or when you're done with the shoulders, some of you might even go lower enough that your forehead rests on your block and you can really drop into that third eye. Let the jaw soften, the eyes relax. And go ahead and switch to side two. Left leg on top, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe it's left arm on top if you did those arms. Again, yogi's choice. You might be done with any of the arm things. So maybe you can even pass your elbows, rest them on the ground. Breathe into the back ribs again. Find space. Just a few more breaths. And bring yourself up. Take a finishing pose. If there's no neck issues, you might choose plow. I'm going to do a seated forward fold myself. So take a finishing pose. It could even be happy baby. Maybe you're missing out on a twist, or if you have a headstand practice, you could end with a headstand. Headstand only if it's very calming to your nervous system. In some lineages, it's the last pose because it's right before meditation. And then finding your way up. I'm going to set us up for Shavasana, but we're going to do a little breath work first. So I'm going to get myself set for Shavasana. But we're going to do a little alternate nostril breathing first. Often one nostril is dominant on one side or the other. One side is heating, one side is cooling, one side is activating, one side is calming. So we'll do a little bit of alternate nostril breathing, and then we'll just take it right into our Shavasana. So if you prefer to sit upright and have Shavasana be like a meditation, you can sit up the whole time. But I usually like to kind of have myself set and then I know where I'm going. So I'm just going to have my timer ready for Shavasana, which will be 3 minutes in a moment. Just have that set for myself. And I've set my blanket up because that's what I'm going to do in a moment for my Shavasana. Okay, so go ahead and sit up tall if you choose to do this breathing technique with me. If not, then just close your eyes. You can do your own meditation or drop into Shavasana early. So your left hand is going to turn up on your thigh, and you're going to bring the index finger and the middle finger together. And then your right hand, you're going to prepare sort of your thumb and your ring fingers. So your peace fingers can either go on the third eye or they can drop into the center of the hand. I think I'm going to do my third eye. So draw the right elbow in. Use your right thumb to close off the nostril. Let the left nostril be open and take an inhale through the left nostril. At the top, ring finger closes off the left, the thumb releases right, and exhale. Inhale right. Hold at the top. Exhale left. Inhale left. Hold at the top. Exhale right. Inhale right. Hold at the top. Exhale left. It's 2 cycles in. Let's do 3 cycles on our own. When you get to your left side on the third time, just let the right hand release down. Take a couple of natural breaths. If you prefer this to be your meditation for Shavasana, go ahead and stay as you are. Otherwise, timer is going. When you're ready, you can settle into your Shavasana. We'll be here 3 minutes. And as you find Shavasana, or even if you're still in your seated pose, see if you can continue the alternate nostril breathing, just visualizing. Inhale, visualize the breath moving up the left nostril to the third eye. And exhale, visualize the breath moving from the third eye out the right nostril. Inhale up through the right nostril to the third eye. And exhale from the third eye down to the left nostril. Continue on your own or just allow all effort to fade away. Shavasana. Start to draw your attention back. Move fingers and toes as you reach your arms overhead. Maybe yawn as you bend your knees and make your way to your right side. Please roll to the right to be kind to the physical part. Eyes closed as you press yourself upright to seated. Hands to your heart in gratitude for all the work, time, and effort you've put into you today. Lift your chest, bow your head. Namaste.